Hello, welcome to Sister Confessions. We are going to jump right in this episode because Michelle and I were talking about topics today, what we were going to talk about. We usually brainstorm a little bit. And Michelle has this really great exercise that she does that I kind of wanted, Michelle, if you don't mind, talk a little bit more. I think you've talked about it before in past episodes, but what did you do today and what came out of it? And let's just go from there.
Thank you, Desiree. Yes, so usually I are already whatever we talked about during the week or anything like that. I'm like, this would end up being a great podcast, hence why we made this podcast because of our great conversations. Uh, but if we don't talk during the week and we still want to have a podcast, it's nice to catch up, but it's also nice to focus on something. And I I draw blanks a lot. So for me to get like in the zone, I do automatic writing, and I say it like it's a regular practice for me. It should be, because every time I do it, amazing things happen. But I I only do it if I absolutely need to. And like I said, it's never a disappointing time when I do it. So I don't know why I don't just do it. Not even just for the podcast, but just for my a guide for my life. So
Why is it so
automatic.
hard to do the things that are good for us? That's another episode for another day. We can readdress that, but keep going. Sorry.
That's so true. That's so true. Why are we like that? Human beings. Okay. Um. So for today, actually, I got set up at the park without knowing what we were gonna talk about, and I was like, I'm just gonna start automatic writing. So automatic writing is pretty much journaling, but if you don't have um journaling is you're writing out what's inside your head. A lot of people can't express what's inside their head in
Or they don't
words
know. Yeah,
or
they don't know where to
verbally. I'm
start
talking
or
about
what to
verbally.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So writing it is better. And writing it, for some reason, when you're holding a pencil and you got paper, you just start writing down your feelings or things that you're thinking about. Some people it's good, some people they can't even go that far. So what you start off with is drawing, just drawing. Like today, no,
Doodle.
yesterday, um my son was angry because he wanted a cookie and I said no. So my daughter has a magna doodle, and they were doodling on it, and I had to guess what it was, and he made an angry face. and and then I was like, angry, why is he angry? The thing on the face on the magna doodle, why is that face angry? And he said because he wanted a cookie, and he was told no. Like, so it's great, not just for kids, but it's great for expressing whatever you're feeling. Um, so for today, the automatic writing is, a lot of times I don't know. All I know is I want to think of what we're gonna talk about, but I don't know. I don't know. So I'm gonna write down I don't know. And if I don't know, I don't know. And I just keep writing down I don't know until something pops in my head, and something always pops in my head, and it's pretty significant. So with that, what popped into my head was a conversation we had a couple weeks ago. And it was about a conversation I had with my husband. And I don't know the viewers and listeners ever think of this, but it would be a great exercise for you too. Thinking deeper inside yourself. would you date yourself? Like, you as you, if you were a potential partner for you, would you date you, like the person you are? Would you date someone like you? And I thought about it. I think I randomly think about it, and my answer is always no.
Mhm.
So the reason why is I, deep down, I know who I should be or want to be, and I'm not that. And how I know I'm a work in progress, but I know I'm not there. And how I am now, uh, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. And I asked my husband that, and asked him if he would date. Asked I said, would you date yourself if you were, me or someone else? Would you date yourself? And he thought it was the weirdest question, and he um he thought about it. It didn't take him that long, really, and he said yes, absolutely. And I was like, wow. No, wow, because I mean, yes, because I'm with him, of
Good.
course, he's a
Yeah.
great person.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah.
just wow that he was so sure. He was like, yeah, I would. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't. And I told him I would not. And it was a great conversation. And I asked you about it. So this conversation came up in my automatic
Yeah.
writing, not into this level of detail of what I'm saying, but this idea came up.
Yeah.
And I asked you, and can you share what you said? And if
Cut.
you
We're done with
even
this
think it,
podcast. We're not confessing anything anymore. It's gonna be
even
called
if it's
Sister Lies.
sister lies, even if it's like, uh,
I'll share.
when I shared with him, he thought it was so weird. Like I thought that, and I
Yeah.
think it's a great thing for everyone to think.
Right.
Would you, like, who you are as a person? Would you date yourself?
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
Anyways, I asked you, and you said you used to think about that a lot, and this is a new thing for me.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So my answer was no. Now my answer was no now, but yes, a few years ago, JR and I had been married 18 years, and I've been having a really challenging time these past couple of years, kind of like spiritual warfare. I've been in a spiritual battle, and I have been struggling. But before that, I was joyful, I was grateful, I was intentful, I served my husband. Nothing really bothered me about him. I I would say absolutely yes, because I served him well and I loved him well. And these past couple of years, I feel kind of like I've lost my identity. I'm not back to the joy. I'm not back to being the inspired person I was, or I just was really grateful before, and I haven't gotten back to that. So now I say no because I'm in this like, um, I'm emerging from this dark season, but I was in a really dark season. And it makes me think about, I saw this one video. It was so beautiful. It showed a picture of a seed going down into dirt, and it was like plexiglass, so you could see it. So the seed went in the dirt, and it was time lapse, and you could see the sprouts growing and it like cracking out, and then it like growing out of the darkness. And I kind of think of that, me, it's symbolic for me right now. Like I was kind of like in darkness, and soon enough I'll bloom again, but I'll be better than I was before because I had illuminations and epiphanies, and me and my husband have gotten a lot more connected, and addressed some issues in our marriage that we had never really addressed before. So now it's just better all the way around. Like it's hard to address those things, but once you do, it just makes things better because it's been addressed, and you guys and we can work on things individually and together. So I'm emerging out of the darkness, but No, not now.
Desiree, do you remember what you just said was the dream I had of you before COVID? When I say before COVID, it's because COVID happened and we were all scared.
Of the
Okay,
unknown.
most of us were scared. I can't speak for everyone, but a lot of us were like scared. And so this had to happen in 2019. I had a
Mm,
dream that you died, and it was a horrible dream. You died, and then in the same dream, you rose to be a. It, okay, let me try to explain it better. You died, your body died, but somehow the essence of you in my dream went into a the ground, because this is where our bodies are buried, but it wasn't your body. It was like, eh, let's just say, for describing it, it was like a little small light, which could be the seed that you're talking about.
mm,
And it went to the ground, and then all of a sudden it shot up like the story of Jack and the Beanstalk.
mm,
And but it wasn't a beanstalk, it was a gorgeous, big, huge flower.
mm,
But this flower was actually, you have a wonderful flower on a vine, on tattoo on your back, and it was that's on your back.
mm,
uh but it was bigger than the redwood trees, like it was bigger
mm.
than buildings. It was so big and beautiful flower. And it was just an amazing, scary dream.
Yeah.
And I told you about it when it happened.
Yeah.
And what you just said right now, describing your where you're at in life, and then you
Mm,
said oh my gosh, like
mm.
it's just connecting my dream to what's happening to you right now.
Okay,
When
there's
COVID
hope.
happened, when COVID happened, I was like, oh my gosh, no, she's gonna die from COVID, and then something great's gonna happen after that. That's what I thought,
Whatever that
because
is.
I
Yeah.
dreamt it so close to COVID.
Yeah.
But no, you're going through something, and
Yeah.
um, I what showed me was something amazing is gonna happen out of it. Beautiful.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that on the podcast. That's there, yeah, there's hope. And I think that so many times when people are in their dark times, like they can't see the other side, or they don't see how it could get any better, or they don't have hope, and there's always hope. Whether or not your awesome sister dreams it or not.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I'm coming out of it. But for now, I would say no. But before yes, I hope to get to yes, but I hope to be like Desiree 2.0, like even better, more
Mm.
humble, more gentle, more just better. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. I
yeah.
I'm
And I
striving
guess
for better. I want to get to a yes, and I know my need. I think I know the reason why it's no is because I know deep down how I am or who I really am, and I don't know how to make that come out. It's really
uh-huh.
hard to describe. Um, very. We're just talking about this right now, so
Yeah.
I don't have the words, but I if I was who I deep down and what I feel inside, if I was that, I would say yes, but I'm not that. And I don't know
Hmm.
when or if that'll happen, but I hope so, and I hope to say yes one day. I don't hate
Well,
myself. I
yeah.
used to,
Mm,
but it's getting better.
yeah. I think that's a beautiful point about also us just loving ourselves where we're at and giving ourselves grace with where we're at. And it's I struggle with that. Like, I'm very ambitious and have these big dreams or things I strive to. And like, you want to be not you want to be happy with where you're at, but not happy enough to be complacent, not happy enough so you strive to be better. So there's like this weird balance of like loving ourselves
Mhm.
where we're at and being graceful where we're at, but also actively striving to be where we want to be or who we want to be. And that can be a, a fine line, I guess, of that.
Yes. Yes. That's a good point. Because usually I say you as in people in general, but I could only speak for myself. Um, for you to want to improve, you have to
What you're
not
wanting to
like
improve.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to give yourself grace, you're also saying, "Oh, well, then it's okay," and then it's okay, but it's not. So there, it is a very it's the tightrope you're walking on.
Yeah.
To I guess for me, it's I know I'm better than I was, but I know I'm not where I want to be, and that's okay. And I know I'm on a path,
Mm.
and it's great
Yeah.
now.
It is.
It's great now. You were describing about being what I'm not gonna say what you said only because I've heard you were saying in the dark place or the a dark place. So for me, I don't know if there was an event because for you were saying the past couple of years. For me, it was everything was bad all the time until
Far as you could
uh
remember.
yeah, and it wasn't. I was If you look at my life and my surroundings, it's not bad. It was
Yeah.
me and my own turmoil in my own
Depression.
depth of depression. Yeah. And it wasn't circumstantial. It just, this is how I was a prisoner in my own mind. And
Mm.
now it's been, I think I started, I'm not going to say get better because I'm still, I'm not there yet, but I think I saw the light at the end of the tunnel 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, and I, I'm gonna have to give credit to all the when you introduced me to podcasts.
Mm.
That's
Really
what
helped.
really helped with.
Yeah.
There's so many things out there.
Mindset. Yeah.
The mindset. And I was going to therapy every day and every day, every week. But I didn't have that extra oomph, and that's what did it. So
Yay,
everyone,
podcast.
yes,
Yay, podcast.
yes, yes. So there's it's all in your mindset, and
Hmm.
it sounds very simple, and it's not. It's very elaborate.
Yeah. But not unattainable.
Not
I mean, and
unattainable.
we were talking about that recently, you and I personally, on a phone call, just about um I was just marveling at your progress and where you're at mentally. Um, can we do a mental health check-in? Because we've
Yeah,
talked about your journey along the way. Do you want to give a recap? Do you want me to give a
sure.
recap? Go ahead.
I'll do it. I could do it. Yeah. So I quick recap for anybody who's just joining us. I've had depression since I was or diagnosed since I was 12, but I'm pretty sure I've had it since I was 6, 5. I remember not feeling this way as a toddler. And when I say that, I don't mean I remember every day of being a toddler, but I remember feeling a certain way and then not feeling that way anymore. Kind of like a curtain going over my vision and seeing everything a different way. I remember that being one way and not being that way anymore. Very young, but I wasn't diagnosed till I was 12, and then being on medicine and seeing different psychiatrists, and then going to therapists, and then learning the difference between those, and then all of that to say I'm now off of medication for the past, what month are we in? This is the
April.
4th month. So for the past 8 months,
8 months.
I've been off of medicine. I have been recently having a hard time with certain things. And I even told my husband, I was like, what if I go back on it? And he's like, he's seen me. We've been together for 11 years, so he knows me well. And he said, I think you could do it. You can, don't use it as a crutch. He didn't say that word, but I know that that's what he meant. And
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and I took one. I took one antidepressant, and this was 2.5 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago. And I think it was more of like a what do they call it when
Placebo.
placebo? I think it was a
Yeah.
placebo, because these things take time, and I've been off it for 8 months, and I took half a pill, and the next day I felt like everything was fine, and it doesn't happen that fast. Those of you who are on antidepressants know it takes at least 3 to 5 days to take
Get into
effect.
your
But the
system.
next
Yeah.
day I was okay, and I was like, all right, and because I know about the placebo effect, and I also know how long it takes for the medicine to kick in, I told myself,
You
you're
could do it.
that wasn't it.
Yeah.
It's all about the
Mhm.
mindset. So I
Yeah.
I didn't continue. I'm not saying that anyone shouldn't, or this is just my journey. And like I said, I've been on it for majority of my life, but I, with therapy and everything else, I'm at a place where I have the tools, I believe, to manage it, where before I didn't. And it's not like everything's hunky dory all the time,
Yeah.
but it, I have the tools, like I said. So
That's a great
that's my
update.
update.
Thank you. Yeah. Interesting. The placebo effect. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing that. That's like profound, actually. You're having a hard time and grappling, like, okay, I'm having a really hard time. I know if I get on medication, it will help alleviate this. We all struggle, we all have hard times. Um, and Mariano saying, like, I think you could do it. And so you took a half a pill and the next day felt better. And that was your cue of like, okay, wait a second. My mind,
Yes.
it's a
It wasn't,
powerful
oh, the
thing.
pill works. It's a magic pill. It was, I already know. I've taken that type of medicine for 18 years. I already know that it doesn't happen that fast. And I know because I would get frustrated. People would, when I had low days, people would be like, well, did you take your medicine? I'm like,
Oh,
it's not it doesn't work like that. Like,
yeah.
yes, I did, but it doesn't work
Yeah.
like that.
Jerk. Yeah. Right.
I
Okay.
thought that what you said, jerk, but
Yeah.
no, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't. They think they're helping, but they don't know. So love to them. They think they're helping. Not sure.
Yeah, I guess that kind of goes back to our last episode. It's kind of like unsolicited feedback. Like, do you think I'm incompetent? Like, I would take offense to that. Like, yeah, I didn't
Yeah, I
ask
mean,
you. Yeah, I didn't ask you, hey, can you help me manage my medication? I'm having really, like, just, I don't know. I would take offense to that. Like, I don't know.
and I did at the time. Uh,
Yeah.
but now looking back, they meant
They're
well,
just
and
checking in. Yeah.
yeah, they don't know what else to say to someone with depression.
Hmm.
It's not like they grew up with it. So, but yes, at the time, I was like, so rude. You have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
And I still, like we talked about it the last time. I still go through that. As in thinking my own thoughts instead of I gotta zoom out. I gotta zoom out, not
Yeah.
be so in here. Zoom out, look at
Yeah.
the whole situation, look at who it is that's telling you this,
Right.
and
Yeah. With
assess it
love
all.
and
Don't,
grace. Yeah.
yeah,
And don't make
yeah,
assumptions. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm in the process as well. Yeah.
yeah. I'm it's gonna be released, but after we
Mhm.
talked about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel naked, I said some things that are, you know, what I'm struggling with. I said some things that I would, you don't share with people. And then I reminded myself why we're doing this, why
Yeah.
we're doing this. Other people are
Yes.
going through that too. And I'm sure lots of people are going through that and don't know to think, to assess the whole situation. Don't know, think it's them, because that's how I think we all think. And actually, there is no them, there is only us. We're all, it's us. There is no them. And not just that, they don't care, like in a good way. We think they're focused on us and they're focused on them.
And they're
And
seeing life through their lens and their
yes,
perspective and their
yes,
experiences. And
yes,
yeah,
yes.
to not take it so personal. So, what else? That was, I love the automatic writing and that question of, would you date yourself? Before, yes. Now, I'm, you know, not where I was
But
or
you're
where I
the
want to
same
be.
person.
I'm the same person, but I've just been struggling, maybe in a
Okay,
depression or
okay,
just not as joyful. And no, I don't, day to day, I'm just a little bit different. Not there yet.
okay, okay.
Growing out of
That
the
makes sense.
darkness. Yeah. JR's
Yeah,
happy.
and
So that's all that counts. I'm not dating anyone else. So I'm not on the
right,
dating apps or I have to even care about that. But
right. Well, it wasn't me asking that question wouldn't is not to be, are you a good candidate for
yeah.
dating, which I should specify. When I think like that, I don't think,
Yeah.
I think who I am as a person. It's an evaluation of me.
Right.
Do I even like myself? And I feel like I
Yeah.
like myself, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
things I feel like I do, I love myself, but I know the depths of me that I don't know how to
Express.
express, or I don't,
Yeah.
I have like blockers. And because of that, I say no, because everyone that knows me don't know, I feel like they don't really know me, because there's so much more to me that I don't know how to bring out.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it's very, very challenging, very hard. And I've always felt this way my whole life. I have.
Um, let's dig in a little deeper into that if you don't mind. Can you give one example of something like, um, yeah, I have so many thoughts on this. I think some people are just satisfied with who they are, and they don't really even think about personal growth, spiritual growth, emotional growth. They're just satisfied with who they are. And then other people continually strive to be better. So is there like one example of,
You saying that we both have a bunch of stuff in our head now. So
yeah.
I growing up, I was just depressed. So I was stuck. There wasn't any I didn't know how, I didn't have a I want to grow or anything. I just didn't want to be sad, and I didn't know how to not be sad. And since then, uh doing all these years of therapy and medication and personal growth, I've I mentioned this before. uh I remember the first time I heard like my intuition,
Mm.
and it was in elementary school, and it was uh, intuition, God, angels, the the God that lives inside you. Like I I have, but I had a like a inner dialogue, and it wasn't voices or anything. It was like the inner wisdom in me, and that was just like, it's okay. I heard like I was having a hard time in school.
Mm.
It's like, it's okay. You're not a like you have us. You have me. You're okay. And when me saying that, I I always felt like an alien in this world. Like no one, I'm gonna
Oh.
cry. No one understands me, and I still feel that way. Um, I felt I I just feel like there's so much depth to me, and I don't know how to express it, or be that deeper thing in me. And that deeper thing in me, I know is me. I know is God. I know it's like all encompassing. And for me to be able to live that, yes, I date myself. Like, that's the person. That's but
Yeah,
I
you're not
feel
there
like
yet,
it's
honey.
in a shell of of a body that has its faults, and I these faults is what I wouldn't date. And when I say that, I do want to clarify, I'm not trying to think of, am I a good candidate to date people. I'm just thinking of me as a person. Am I everything I am, I guess. Like, am I everything I am? And I know it's I don't know how to get it out, and this is so hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you kind of understand what, and am I answering your question?
Yes,
I kind of went on a tangent, but
no, I get it. I hear that you feel much deeper than you're able to verbalize or express, and you have a great intuition that you maybe haven't had the opportunity to express, or haven't had the confidence to express, or or whatever it is. There's something holding you back, and so you're not fully living
right.
in your full
Yes.
potential that you feel deep down in your heart.
You nailed it. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right.
But I've always felt this way, and I do feel where I'm at now in my life, I feel more connected,
Yeah,
but not,
fully there.
no, not at all. Like, I feel like it's like
10%.
it's like it's in a treasure box inside me, and with locks around
Hasn't
it,
been
and
unlocked.
I know it's
Mm.
there, and I know it's inside, but I don't know how to open it, and I don't know how to
Mm.
express it, I guess you
Hey,
could
you
say.
know what? I completely relate to you 1000%
Yeah.
with being a musician. I I play
Oh no, you froze. Oh my gosh, Desiree, you're
me back,
frozen.
and you were. I'm
Okay,
frozen too.
no, not anymore. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, we might you might have to move because I hear the guys louder. But let me finish this thought. I absolutely feel like that as a musician. Like I would love to be able to fully express myself, and I feel like I'm okay. It's okay, but I know that there's so much more, and I don't know how to unlock it. Like I just don't know what to do, and why is it why? Yeah,
Desiree,
I
that's it.
completely relate.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know who said that a lot,
who?
and who said that a lot, and did not like to release things because it wasn't what you're saying, even though all of us thought it was great. Michael Jackson, he said
Like
that a
he
lot.
like there was more. He didn't know how to. Wow, that's
A
phenomenal.
lot of his music, he said, it's
He
not
wasn't happy
there
with. Yeah,
because he had, and he also said it came from another place, not it came from God. It came from another place. It there's so much depth to it. He was trying to express it through music, and it just wasn't there. And there's so much unreleased music because he's just like, it's not what
he
I
wanted
have
it to
in.
be.
Yes, yes,
Mm,
what you're
mm.
saying. Oh, that's a true
Hey,
music. There's a lot of musicians like that, actually,
mm.
and you
do
are
you,
one of them.
do you think that I have grappled with this? I'm wondering, and I kind of came to the conclusion that maybe I'm just a perfectionist, or I'm scared to mess up or not get it right. I kind of was like, I don't know if I feel uninhibited. Let me tell you, I feel unlocked when I am practicing alone, when no one is around, when the house is empty. I even feel uncomfortable whenever I have people in the house, like, and the saxophone is so loud, like you can hear it down the block. But when I'm in the house alone, I could release and let go and feel that connection.
No,
That
that's it, Desiree. That's it.
that's it. But I think it's the perfectionism or not wanting to mess up, or and maybe with you it's not wanting to be misinterpreted or judged, or like a that wall is kind of like a, not a sense of perfectionism, but just, yeah, maybe just not wanting to feel judged or condemned, or if you fully release everything that you have, you've put up a wall to
I
protect yourself.
that's something to think about. Maybe that yeah, I don't know, maybe. I would love to let it all
Unlock
out, and
it.
I just don't know
Yeah.
how. And
Mm-hmm.
possibly if I did, it would probably make me not me, and I don't mean not me because that is who I am, but
More you,
yeah,
but
uh,
different.
right. And uh, I don't know, maybe I wow. Possibly. I want to say
Mm,
no. I want to say
yeah.
no, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know for sure, so I can't say no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something to look more into.
Ponder.
Automatic right about.
Yes, good idea. Tune in next week for some more automatic writings by Michelle.
Yeah.
I with you here with hearing you describe that, I absolutely can relate as a musician, and just knowing there's so much more potential. And as I explored that, it just really bothered me because people tell me, "Oh my gosh, you're so great," or whatever. I'm like, it's not really what I could be or what I feel or the potential I know, but there was something. And I'm pretty creative in other avenues of my life, but with the music, I just felt like it just needed to be unlocked. And that was my conclusion, I think, was um not wanting to mess up, or perfection is not knowing how to express that and not wanting to mess up or something.
But when you're in your element, when no one's home, you're carefree, as in you mess up and it doesn't bother you, or
Right. Yeah, that's right.
oh, okay.
You just
But
whatever.
I was also gonna say it just
Does
flows
it
out
just
of you,
flows?
and you're not even like thinking of what notes you're playing. It just comes out,
Exactly.
and
Right. And if
so
if it messes up, it doesn't matter. Like whatever, you just move on. Like it's
yeah,
just, yeah, part of the
okay,
music. Hmm.
okay. But when people are around, you're like, I'm performing for them, so I can't mess up.
Yeah. Even if no one's even in
Versus,
the room. Yeah. This is kind of
oh,
embarrassing.
even when no
I
one's
don't
in
want.
the room.
Yeah, but if they're in the house in other
Oh
rooms,
yeah, you
I know they
said
can
they can hear
hear.
me.
Yeah, everyone can hear. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, that was my conclusion. That's why I wanted to share that, because I could relate in that way, and that was like what that came out for me in that way. I don't know. All right, well, tune in next week for more therapy, Michelle. That will be
I
195.99.
I know.
Hey, did you ever address this in EMDR?
I addressed the me not having vocabulary. So part of it is there's so much in me and I don't have the words.
Hmm.
So I addressed that.
Okay, that's
And
a component of it.
it's pretty much just when I say I addressed it I didn't come to an epiphany of an answer. It was just like that's just to accept it
Hmm.
versus have so much. It used to bother me so much, and it still bothers me, but it used to be like, oh, this is worse, this is devastating. How I don't know how to live in this way because everything else was like that for me.
Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
it's frustrating, but I know how I am, and it's more of an acceptance.
Hmm.
But now I'm like, well, okay, yes, this is how I am, but uh,
There's more.
there's more. Yeah, and unlock me. I don't. Yeah, I, automatic writing was a great tool. I get
Yeah.
all these blocks in my head, but writing it down and um, it's not complete sentences and it's a lot of like notes, but it's triggers of oh yeah to remind me of a subject, like the subject of asking you about if you would date yourself. Like I don't have that whole story written out in my automatic writing. It
Yeah.
was just like two sentences to remind me. It's like, oh yeah, that was very
Interesting.
interesting, and I don't know if a lot of people think that way.
Hmm.
And like that's a good like self-reflection of who you are as a person.
Hmm.
Would you date
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah. Or even would you be your best friend? Because
Yeah,
date, I guess, has a different connotation, like a romantic aspect versus just
true,
like friendship or
true,
something. Um,
true.
hey,
My husband's my best friend, so I just said date my best friend, but
date.
or
Yeah.
would I date myself? But yeah, would you hang out with yourself? And
Right.
I
That's
still would
it.
say no.
Uh-huh. Because
I
it's
still
kind
would
of
say
the
no.
same thing.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
uh,
Same concept of the question.
yeah, for now.
Um, yeah, that's good. Well, we want to keep this conversation going. And actually, as we're talking, I'm wondering if like Michelle had shared, just there's a part of her that she feels needs to be unlocked, or she's not living in her true full potential, or along those lines. And I had shared, I feel like that, and a component of my life with music, being a musician, I feel like there's a lot more potential that hasn't been unlocked. Or I'm wondering, is there anything that comes to your mind, the listeners, the viewers? Is there something like, oh yeah, I have a blockage in my life with friendships or women or relationships, or um, what, spirituality or vulnerability, or yeah, I don't know. I guess there could be a lot of different things that people experience blocks in their life. So we would love to hear if you want to comment or text or email us. Um,
Yes,
just share your story and your journey, and we'd love to keep that conversation going.
yes, we would.
Yes.
Know
So
that
I think,
not alone. You're not alone, and we're not
yes,
alone.
yes. Please just tell us we're not alone. You're not alone. Tell us we're not alone. Michelle, any last thoughts? Anything else about this? This is a good combo. I enjoyed this.
No, no. I'm grateful to have this platform and able to share with everyone what we go through. I say this a lot, probably at the end of every podcast, but I'm grateful to be able to share and hope that it helps somebody.
Yes. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get notification whenever new videos come out. And stay tuned for the next episode. And Michelle, we will talk soon.
We'll talk soon.
All right. Have a great night. Love you.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.